In the dead of winter 1959, 9 experienced hikers ventured into the desolate Ural Mountains of the Soviet Union. They never returned. What happened on that frozen slope has become one of the most terrifying and debated mysteries of our time. They fled their tent in the middle of the night, underdressed for the brutal cold, and met their end in the most bizarre and violent ways imaginable. Was it an avalanche, a secret military experiment, or something far more sinister? This is the story of the Dyatlov Pass incident. Our story begins in January 1959. The group, led by 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, was composed of 8 men and 2 women, mostly students and graduates from the Ural Polytechnical Institute. They were all Grade 2 certified hikers with extensive experience, embarking on a Grade 3 expedition, the highest certification in the Soviet Union at the time. Their goal was to reach Ural Mountain, a challenging but achievable feat for a group of their skill. From the group's diaries and photographs, the early days of the trek were filled with camaraderie and high spirits. They documented their journey, smiling for the camera, completely unaware of the horror that awaited them. On February 1st, they began their ascent of Koletsyakal, the Dead Mountain. A worsening snowstorm forced them to deviate from their planned route, and they made a fateful decision: to set up camp on the exposed slope of the mountain. This is where the story takes a dark and inexplicable turn. Something happened on the night of February 1st that caused the 9 hikers to slash their tent open from the inside and flee into the sub-zero wilderness. They were found weeks later, scattered across the slope, most of them barefoot and dressed only in their sleepwear. The scene baffled investigators. Why would seasoned hikers abandon the safety of their tent in such a panic? The first 2 bodies were found under a large cedar tree, about a mile from the camp. They were barefoot and dressed only in their underwear. The branches of the tree were broken, suggesting they had tried to climb it. Nearby were the remains of a small fire. 3 more bodies, including Igor Dyatlov's, were found between the tree and the tent, seemingly frozen while trying to return to camp. The real mystery, however, lay with the final 4 hikers, discovered 2 months later in a ravine, buried under 13 feet of snow. These bodies told a different, more violent story. One had major chest fractures, another had a crushed skull. The force required to inflict such injuries was compared to that of a car crash. And most disturbingly, one of the women was missing her tongue, eyes, and part of her lips, yet there were no external signs of a struggle. So what happened on Dead Mountain? The official Soviet investigation concluded that a compelling natural force was to blame. For years, the leading theory was an avalanche. But critics argue an avalanche wouldn't explain the strange injuries or why the hikers fled. Other theories are far more sinister. Was it a secret military weapons test gone wrong? Some of the hikers' clothing was found to be radioactive. Could infrasound, a low-frequency noise that can induce panic, have driven them mad? And of course, there are the paranormal theories involving everything from UFOs to a Russian Yeti. In 2019, Russian authorities reopened the case, concluding that a slab avalanche was indeed the most likely cause, possibly combined with poor visibility that led the hikers to get lost after fleeing. Yet, for many, this explanation falls short. It doesn't fully account for the bizarre injuries, the missing tongue, or the sheer terror that must have gripped them. Over 60 years later, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains a chilling, unsolved mystery, a testament to the terrifying power of the unknown. What do you think happened to the 9 hikers on that fateful night? Let us know your theory in the comments below. If you found this case as fascinating as we did, be sure to like this video, subscribe to Case Uncovered, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next investigation into the world's most chilling unsolved mysteries.